The second Nova Online protest or takeover was a complete disaster, from these guys trespassing multiple times to even bringing explosives to a disabled amputee's hoarder house. What was claimed to be a peaceful protest in the beginning, while not a great idea to begin with, slowly devolved into a pissing contest of who could break the most laws. We have lies, contradictions, and of course, absolutely nothing to show for everything done today. Let's get into it. So, of course, shortly after the first takeover, the account that originally organized it all would make a post again saying Nova Takeover, this time the sequel, bigger, better, and longer, July 9th, 2026, be there. Details and description. With the description, of course, reading. Just like the last takeover, folks, same idea, same everything, but bigger, better, and longer. New stuff like bringing in diaper boxes, boxes of extra small condoms, Dr. Pepper, and Orange Fanta are now extremely recommended. Even Sailor Moon cosplays are encouraged to dress like Nova if you're going to go for that. Making protest signs dedicated to put Nova in jail, such as Put Nova in Jail or Nova is a Pred, is recommended. Bring along whoever you want to this free event and let's rock. Bigger, better, and longer. Then, as things began to develop, this person would post some updates on their story saying, because of concerns of Gabriel Gage and his supposed preparation, I recommend going a little later, around 5, 6, or 7 p.m. Pacific time. Then, hello fellow attendees, before we go to Nova's lair and do our business, we should go to the Post Falls Police Department with evidence of Nova being a pred, on protest signs, cardboard cutouts, etc., and protest there first. That way we may have the attention from the Post Falls PD and they're aware of Nova's predatory behavior. Now, remember that comment for later. Then they let everyone know the takeover has officially started. They then proceed to clarify, just because I seen this on @DaddyJava's Live, please don't damage Nova's property because of legal reasons, and attending people, please stay on the sidewalk and don't trespass onto Nova's nearby people's properties. Now, again, that's another thing you need to keep in mind for later. Then finally, because of somewhat poor planning and me telling others to ring Nova's doorbell to gain his attention, I apologize for these inconveniences. I'll try to be better and actually plan a better protest if there can be a next one. Thanks for viewing this, fellas. I think the greatest thing of all about this organizer is that this person didn't show up to either protest. They did all this work, gaining all this attention for people to show up to Nova's house to allegedly just peacefully protest him. This was all organized from afar, and they never had boots on the ground to witness all the travesties that took place at this takeover, because it truly gets disgusting. Now, getting into the actual event, nobody ended up going to Post Falls PD to report anything in person beforehand. They all just started haphazardly rolling up to Nova's house. But you know what? Things were still going good right in the very beginning, and in the very beginning only. They had a nice conversation with one of the older neighbors there, and up until that point, besides it being fairly boring because the guy only knew how to show the ground or his face, it seemed like at the very least they were going to keep it legal and peaceful.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I know him, so I'll let him know what's going on.
All right, yeah, thank you.
So he won't call the cops on you guys? Where's your girlfriend?
She's at home right now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Where are you living at now?
Still at my mom's.
And, you know, other than the fact it wasn't really the best protest, they did, in fact, after a while, get some ripped pizza boxes or something and actually make protest signs. So, I mean, it wasn't much effort to actually make it a protest, but at the very least it was peaceful, and you could still argue it was some sort of protest at this point. But then it started to quickly devolve, but this quickly devolved when these people had a taste of an amount of viewers that they haven't even heard of before. With suggestions they started making, such as getting 10K viewers in exchange for Ding Dong ditching Nova. Well, now you might be thinking, oh, what are you moaning about over here, Mcgrubba? It's just ding-dong ditching. Well, it's them entering onto his property and trespassing, and he made it very clear at the other takeover that people were not allowed on his property during these events. So yes, it would be trespassing, but these suggestions of doing things for things such as galaxies or likes led them to threaten to vandalize Nova's property if they got a galaxy.
Yeah, I get a galaxy.
I get a galaxy.
Oh my god, we gotta get a balloon that says.
Would you want to throw a rock through the window for the galaxy?
Yes.
Go do it. Go do it.
I do it for no galaxy.
You would do it for no galaxy.
Oh god, no way.
Dude,
Talk to my dick.
like say like
We need to get Gideon up here.
Yeah, where's Gideon?
So just absolutely degenerate behavior, because why are you risking a misdemeanor or a felony, depending on how much of an asshole the cop wants to be that night, for $10 to $15? Because that's how much a TikTok Galaxy is worth. 10 to 15 bucks, they'd get a felony. And not only that, again, just another thing. They're gifting the chome on a silver platter, something that he can cry victim about. And again, point to this idea that he's being targeted and harassed for no reason. And we'll get into this point a little later. But half of these people don't even know the full extent of what Nova did or who Nova is, and definitely don't seem to be prepared with evidence of that in order to report to police. In fact, when the police eventually show up, it seems like everyone scatters. And why might the police show up? You might be wondering to yourself. Well, for one, they start trespassing over and over and over again, despite what they say here. Now, trespassing over and over and over again isn't the only thing these people did to break the law that day. You see, in Idaho, when it comes to fireworks, or in other words, explosives, it's a safe and sane state. So sparklers are legal to use. However, when it comes to lighting off fireworks such as Roman candles or mortars, sending them up into the air, that's illegal. And while they started flashing a Roman candle around, which is dangerous, but it's kind of a small firework, the camera pans over eventually to a mortar that's sitting over there on the ground when they start talking to one of the local reporters who happen to be at this event, which is a much bigger firework. And who exactly brought this mortar to that event? You might be wondering to yourself. Well, that would be none other than Trailer Park Trevor. Now, you see, Trevor was really eager to get this thing going, get this mortar strike lit off right outside of Nova's house. And again, like before, this person, Trevor, is ready to do it for $10 or for a TikTok Galaxy.
What?
Are you live right now?
Yeah, I've been live.
Biggest gift they could send you to get the firework.
Like a lion or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
TikTok universe.
Guys, we got a fucking mortar,
Okay.
okay? This is a good firework.
Galaxy, they already made like 15 bucks from it.
And whether it be the influx of galaxies they started getting, or just Trevor being a complete degenerate, eventually that firework or that mortar strike eventually went off.
Of all fish.
Y'all don't care about the kids?
Nova's deploying a signal. Oh, yeah. Oh. Dude, they just shot off fireworks illegally. Yo. And they're recording themselves. They're not just recording themselves, it's live to thousands of people.
Yo, we got another one!
Dude lives in the neighborhood as well. Yo, actually, like, brain dead. It's not even... I can't even exaggerate
That's
it.
the neighbor!
So, doing something that carries fines or jail time, they broke the law, especially since they were in a very dry area. And who says that spark isn't going to light a fire around Nova's house? And just from that, you can imagine the awful things that could happen. Because again, Nova Online's mom is disabled. She's in a wheelchair. She's an amputee, we just found out recently. And Nova Online can't muster the strength to just push his mom up the ramp that's in the front of his house. So if a fire is happening inside that house, if that house gets lit on fire, how is she going to get out if she can't move around really on her own? The house is filled with trash upon piles of trash. She's not going to be able to wheel herself out. Gabe isn't going to push her out. I'd say the argument is definitely there that you could say that's some sort of attempted unaliving. Now, we don't exactly know if Gabriel's mom was in the house, but that's just incredibly awful and poor thinking on their end. An incredibly poor decision. But what I truly believe to be the cherry on top of all this degenerate, illegal behavior that's doing absolutely nothing to advance any sort of case on Nova, isn't doing anything to help make him incur some charges for the disgusting things he gets up to online. We have the childish manner they went about arguing with Bloodspeth when they let him on his live stream.
Bloodspeth,
Yo. Man, why am I seeing the clip where you said you'd throw a rock at him for a gal? Oh, you said it. I saw the clip.
Wait, the mic is getting passed
Well, who
around. There are
said
two
it?
mics that get passed.
I'm just wondering who said it.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think I had read. That's none.
No,
None of
that's-
us are
no,
acting.
I,
Are you gonna hurt
I
us,
saw the
Bloodspeth?
clip. Dude, you know that's like...
Are you gonna hurt us if we do something to your kid?
That's not why I'm... You know, it's not why I'm calling. you're endangering
You want to talk
yourself.
to us?
That's a crime.
Wait. I wanna hear him out. Blood, sweat.
Dude, y'all are like committing a crime. Like, I don't care about Nova. Like, anything could happen to him. I don't care.
Okay, so
But there's, the
property
what?
we're
No,
on. No, I'll hear you. I want to say the property we're on is private property, and one of the people who is here, it is his grandma's property, and he got permission from her.
okay, that's not the issue. Do you know that there's like an active investigation into Nova because of the amount of threats and like in-person harassment he faced? So when you're doing this and sending people to deliver shit to his house and spam call him,
We haven't
you
sent anyone.
have.
So
I've
someone
seen
actually,
it. You're lying.
So
I've seen it,
the
dog.
Domino's. I'll show you. So the Domino's that just came up, that little white Chevy Equinox that parked, that was paid for, and I checked with her. There was another Domino's order that wasn't paid for, and someone here shelled out their own cash to pay for it. And then the other thing was cat food, bleach, and bologna, and that was a DoorDash order that Nova made that was also paid for by Nova. So two orders had been delivered that were paid for by Nova, and the other one was paid for by.
How do you know that? How do you know Nova?
Because we didn't do it, and it was like
I'm
his
sure it
info.
said the order was for Nova, but you're telling people to like send DoorDash and shit to his house, which is like, I'm not saying it because I care about Nova, but there's an active investigation because of the amount of harassment, like threats or whatever he gets. And so when you're doing this, now more police resources have to be into protecting this idiot from like you instead of arresting him and charging him for talking to children.
So I get what you're saying. Cops came by earlier. They said, "Hey, don't be loud. Don't run his property." So I need you. I don't need you to. I hope that you could. That is a perspective of someone who's in their early 20s and married and wants to have kids, who lives 8 minutes away from this person's house, that you might not feel comfortable with them doing. Is that understandable when there's like a large
Of course
group of
that's
us
understandable, but what you're doing is counterproductive to wanting him to go away. I just explained because there's
right now, nobody's gonna hear you out on it. Nobody's gonna leave.
No one's not gonna let you hit.
No, we're not gonna let you hit.
okay, I don't care if you or your posse don't hear me out on it. I'm just hoping, maybe you can listen to a little bit because you're encouraging people to send shit to him. You said you would throw a rock at his house.
Yeah, since you told
Guest violation warning. A guest in your live has violated our hate speech and hateful behavior policy.
I reported him.
I have to remove your blood.
So, as a little recap, one, they definitely lied about that raw clip. You guys watched it earlier. Disgusting and illegal behavior, performing crimes live like that. And then they argued with him like fifth graders, calling Nova his king, despite him clearly articulating it's an awful idea to be suggesting they commit crimes for money, and with their faces on full display too, on a live stream to thousands of viewers. Now, does Blood say a word out of passion that perfectly reflects exactly how these guys are acting? Yes. But they immediately use that as an excuse to just boot him off the live and start calling him Chudspath or whatever. Because it's incredibly hard for these people to look back at themselves, reflect a little bit, and realize what they're doing is incredibly stupid and wrong. You can claim that I'm defending a PDF file all you want. Look at my page. I definitely would never in a million years defend Nova, of all people. But doing this, especially in the midst of an open investigation on Nova, is like taking 4 steps back after taking 2 steps forward. You're doing nothing but harm, and people should not be going to this guy's house. I said it after the Civic guy started going to Nova's house that this was going to start a trend, and I was right. That other guy who followed suit right afterwards even DM'd me asking what the harm in doing this could be, and this is exactly it. People start to realize how much attention they can gain really quickly by doing something very stupid, and it leads to a snowball effect of them doing more and more illegal stuff. It's going to send them to jail. I mean, of course, to ruin everything when it comes to all the evidence that's been gained on Nova. Because this guy loves to cry that he's the victim of things, when in reality he's not, but now you're actually making him the victim of a crime. Just really not smart thing to do. And I think the most telling thing of all when it comes to exactly what their plan was with this, other than the fact that they were so incredibly infatuated with the amount of viewers they had the whole time. And I understand the argument to be made about hypocrisy there, but at the end of the day, I'm not outside Nova's house throwing rocks at his door, lighting fireworks outside of it. But it was the fact that as soon as the police showed up for the second time after all the illegal things occurred, everyone scattered. And it didn't really seem like a single soul was talking to the police besides maybe one or two people out of that giant crowd that had formed. Really telling, especially when all these people were saying, oh, they wanted to report everything Nova was doing to the police. They wanted to make sure the police were aware. Aware of what? Aware of your non-existence, man? I don't know. I think this was a whole bunch of goofballs who didn't fully understand what they were doing, make a whole bunch of bad decisions, and even when people blatantly said and handed them on a silver platter exactly what they were doing wrong and why they shouldn't be doing it, they decided to still stay willfully ignorant and continue making bad and illegal decisions. But I hope you Grubbas had a wonderful time enjoying this video. That live stream sure was not enjoyable for most of it. It was incredibly boring. Don't forget to like up and hype up the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more just like this. Later, Grubbas.